What is it that makes you angry when you look around the world? Because somewhere in there is a clue. Your wound is your why.
Welcome to another Project Red. We got Darren Tyler.
We don't ask people to go, ask them to go with me. Like, we send people, but what we're really saying is, I'm going.
Amazing. Yeah.
And you're welcome to go. We say that you can be a goer, you can be a sender, you can be both, you can be either, but you can't be neither. Like, there's no bench warmers in the kingdom.
So true.
And
all right, everyone, welcome to another Project Red. You got myself, Will, and Patrick over here. And we got one of my longest running friends on Project Red this month. First of all, the theme is Believe, and this guy is a man of high faith. And I've seen him in action in so many different circles. And welcome, we got Darren Tyler. He's a pastor of Conduit, and he used to be in the Christian music industry, and we'll go into all of these facets of Darren, the things that make up Darren. He's an amazing dude, and he's got a great culture at Conduit, and they are doing missions all over the world. They are doing local impact, and he's just bringing all those things, all those experiential things that God used on his journey to make up who he is, and it's the impact he's having today. It's kind of colliding into one great thing that's happening right now in his life with him and Shannon and his family and the church he's got going. And so we're going to hear about all that, right, Patrick?
Oh, yeah. Every bit of it.
All right. Welcome, Darren.
Welcome.
man, it's great to be here. Finally.
I know, right? We finally got this pulled off. Yeah, I know you're running all over the world a lot, and we're just so thankful you'd make some time for us today.
Definitely.
Man, it's an honor. Honestly, the work we're doing beside each other in Haiti, like, this makes so much sense.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to be here.
I love it.
Well, I want to get us started here with our first question. So, just knowing a little bit about you, your journey spans from the green rooms of Christian music industry all the way to the front lines of global mission work. If you're going to find a way to thread those chapters of your story into one giant story, what do you think that through line is?
Nothing like starting with an easy one, right, Darren?
God has a sense of humor is the through line.
Oh, man, I can relate to that. That is so true.
Right. I mean, I think about you, Will, with that. I mean, one day, you're in a tour bus and on a massive stage, and next day you're, sleeping in a unair conditioned room in Haiti. Like, it's such a whiplash.
You're not kidding.
Of it. But, the through thread is that God uses our lives in seasons, and each season prepares you for the next. And it turns out being a manager of rock bands and a booking agent for rock bands turns out to be weirdly enough, a perfect training ground for being a pastor and then ultimately a missionary.
I love it. It's so true. I can relate to that so well. I've always said that the previous seasons that God's had you in, is He's always moving. He's always several steps ahead of you, and He's laying the groundwork and the framework and the DNA inside of you that's just going to take you to that next thing that He's got for you. So I fully agree with that. That's amazing. So if you look at all the things that you've done, if you had to introduce yourself by the endeavors that define your life, what would you say? How would you name it?
I mean, when I think of that, it's like, that was actually a really great question, and one that I'd literally never considered before.
Oh, man.
But it was like, and I actually don't even know how to answer it other than I'm still telling stories.
I love that.
I mean, that's what we do. You guys were telling stories, and let me rephrase that. I'm still, weirdly enough, I'm still doing exactly what I was doing. I never got on stage. I never wrote a song. I empowered people to tell their stories and gave them the ability to tell their stories. And that's still what we're doing. The stories are now coming from places like Haiti or Nepal, Uganda. There's still stories. I'm still the middle guy. So somewhere in there is a theme.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, I mean, we wrote songs and we did all those things too. And now it's a different passion. God used that platform that we had to inspire us to be more than our music, more than the awards, more than the jumping off our bass amp and swinging our hair. We were able to parlay that into using that platform for something greater than ourselves. We never took being a role model lightly either. We wanted to impact people. We wanted to, influence a next generation. I feel like you've always done that. I feel like you've always wanted to inspire in people more than maybe they thought they could on their own. You know what I mean? Talk about that a little bit, how you've moved an entire church into kind of this others facing. I mean, this outside facing, this like eyes off myself and onto people who struggle way more and who have way deeper issues and who have way more hardships. You know, we all could really talk about what we're going through and kind of some of the things we face in life. But if we get the eyes off of ourselves and look at others, there's someone that's always worse than us most of the time, right?
Yeah, you guys, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on your podcast, but when I think back to the years of journey, you guys are one of the bands. I could name a couple others, but you guys were literally at the forefront of leveraging a platform for more than just selling records. It's like we're here.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, well, it's true. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you the truth, man. Because I do believe that, because that was, a lot of times we think in terms of what we can do with our money. A lot of stewardship sermons are basically giving sermons disguised as stewardship. But when you use your platform like that, whether it's big or small, right? You're actually, the gold records, I've still got a couple in my garage.
Yeah. They're in my garage,
I'm not taking
too.
any of them. Yeah, you don't want to throw them away. You can really sell on a garage sale. I guess we could, but none of that's going with us into eternity, right? But the people that we serve are going with us. And
oh man,
there's this
that's so huge.
There's a parable that Jesus tells, right, of the shrewd manager using his master's money to gain friends, right, when he was outside of the master. And then he says that in this parable, it's in the book of Luke, that you as followers of Jesus should use your worldly goods to make friends for eternity. And it's really simply put that these are friends we're making on the side of heaven. Some you may not ever meet, right, if you're giving, and you're not going, but God's keeping track of that stuff. So, the welcome home party for people that are, even if they've never gone on a trip hands and feet, but they've just been radically generous with it, they're going to meet those kids in eternity someday. Welcoming them into eternity is exactly the words Jesus used, to welcome you into eternity with it. So that's the mission we've done with the church, is to say, if we wanted to just show up and for great teaching, you're probably at the wrong church. If you want to show up for great music, you're at the right church. But you could get all that stuff on YouTube. And so what differentiates it? And for us, it was, we've never invited anyone to join our church. What we're inviting them to do is to join the mission.
I love it.
And that's a whole different ballgame. And it's, look, the jury was out for about 15 years of whether it was even going to work. But I've now got 15 years of anecdotal evidence to show that I don't know why every church doesn't do it this way.
Absolutely. I love it. I mean, I think you're known for your radical generosity. So unpack that a little bit. How does that, I mean, you don't have to give numbers. You can if you want to, but I mean, you guys take a lot of your monies and put them straight out there to local service, to international service. And I mean, people are on trips all the time, and it's like money where your mouth is. I mean, it's so counterintuitive to normal pastor culture, normal church culture, normal giving culture. I mean, that's huge, dude. That's why I love your church. That's why I love what you've really the foundations you've laid there. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I'd love to tell you I came up with this idea, but the Apostle Paul did. In the book
there you go.
2 Corinthians,
Way to give credit where credit's due, right?
Yeah, I think I just Jesus juked Will. But
I love it.
But Paul, 2 Corinthians 9 is quoted all the time. God loves a cheerful giver, and it's usually we're holding up the tithe envelope now, and everybody get excited, and I'm like, I don't know if I don't know what I'm giving to. Am I excited? But
exactly
that letter, 2 Corinthians 8 and 9, he was literally, there's 2 chapters devoted to him making the case for the church at Corinth to be generous to the people who were suffering, the saints who were suffering persecution and famine in Jerusalem. And he's bragging on these other churches. He's bragging on the church at Corinth, which is hilarious because he's also got some things,
to fix.
Problems with you people too. But one of the things they were getting right was their generosity. But the point is that God loves a cheerful giver. And so as a pastor, what that means to me is the onus is on us to give them something to be cheerful about.
I love
to keep the mission in front of them.
Such a great idea.
And, when someone, when you give and it feels good that I help somebody and you feel, sometimes they feel guilt for that, but don't feel guilty. That's exactly how it's supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel joyful when you've helped somebody using, again, the master's money, not mine. God, I'm just a steward of God's money. So all we're doing literally is just inviting people to be happy and to help. And
I love that.
It turns out you don't have to manipulate or browbeat, right? You just tell them the stories.
That's right. I think the stories, and you got to have big vision, or not even big vision, just a vision. And people follow that. People follow passion too.
Yeah.
I've found they follow passion, they follow vision, they follow things where they see God at work and they can jump in and they you're right. They get super happy quick. And I'm thinking of the story in the Bible where the guy who had the barns in the fields, and he's like, harvest, fill up our barns, and we're going to be set forever. And Jesus, I think the story says, you fool, your life's going to be taken tonight, man. So it's like, it's just wow, what a heavy thing it would be to read that if you're in that position, and you,
right.
And the same with the rich young man who came to Jesus, and he's like, sell everything you have and go give it to the poor. And these are, obviously he's making a point that what's your priority? What's the first fruit of your heart? What's the first things that you want to take care of? Is it the least of these, or is it, just storing up your barn so you can party for a year, and have an easy go at it? And so that's some profound things, that people have to come to reckon with. But I think it feels like your church is just leading in that, and I love that.
Yeah, it's funny because, and maybe it was because I was a rock and roll manager and I didn't go to seminary. I literally didn't know any better.
That's so
I just thought that was what we were doing.
Yeah.
And so I did have a pastor at one point challenge me, I won't say names, but that his exact words were, you guys are being irresponsibly generous.
Wow.
As a church, you can either be Compassion International or you can be a church, but you can't be both. And I was like 3 years in. And by the way, I'm looking at the same Excel spreadsheets he's looking at going, well, he's got a point. But, right?
How are we actually going to do what we're saying we're doing?
Yeah. But, by that point, these weren't just problems. These were people. Like, they were my friends. And, where I'm from, if your friend's in trouble, you help them, right? You do whatever you can. There's just enough hillbilly in me to.
I love that.
That's how we do.
Yep. Come together.
Yeah. And I learned a lesson, guys, was that if you personally or as a church corporately, if you'll invest in people who cannot repay you, God will take care of the rest. And I've got 15 years of miracle after miracle.
Oh my gosh.
Of why we even have a building, anything we have right now is that there's nothing but God's providence and miraculous intervention.
Yeah,
while we
go
were
through
being
some of that. Tell us some of that. What have you seen? What have you seen him do? You just mentioned the building. Tell us about some of that. That's exciting.
Well, that meeting where the pastor told me, by the way, his church folded, that I was being irresponsibly generous and our model was not sustainable. The thing that when I was having that meeting with him, and he's a good guy. He really was. I mean, I'm being a little snarky, but we were meeting in a high school. We had given all the money away. At that point, we were like, I don't know, 150 people soaking wet, and had invested 1.5 million at that point in between Haiti and Africa. But we had nowhere to meet, and we had to be out of the school in like 9 months. And at one point, I just told our church, look, I don't know what we're going to do. If this is no John Maxwell book would ever tell you to do this, but I don't know what we're going to do. I just know that, look, maybe if in 9 months we're out of, runway and we all just high five each other. It's been a good ride.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Thank you for being on the ride. The ride is coming to its stop right now.
Yeah. And we still had the mission separate by that point. It was a separate 501c3. So my plan was, even if the church shuts down, I'm still going to go with the mission. But Literally, I said that, and I ended it with, "Look, I don't know. I just know that we're headed to the sea, and he's either going to split it or we're going swimming, and both are going. They're both okay." And maybe 2 weeks later, I got a call from a pastor of a church that was one exit over from us, a building that had 13 voting members left, and
Wow.
8 weeks later, we moved into this little property that was the middle of nowhere. That's now the middle of everywhere. But it was
Absolutely.
completely given to us.
Oh
and
my
by the way, it
gosh.
was worth the building was worth at that point $1.5 million. And the proverb that says, when he who gives to the poor loans to God, and he will repay you in full. And I was looking at it on paper going, oh, wow, he actually did that. He literally
Oh my
100%
gosh.
paid it in full.
That is unbelievable. I love that. That just gave me chills. I got goosebumps.
I kind of did too. And I was there, but I haven't thought about that in so long. But
No,
yeah.
I know. Isn't it great to look back on how he showed up in your life and how you've seen him pull off these big things? And we could both rattle off what we've seen in Haiti and what you've seen around the world. Yeah. I mean, we'll let Patrick keep us on track here for a second.
I'm sorry, Patrick.
No.
I forgot we were broadcasting.
No, it's right. It's right. I love the conversation. It's so good.
I would love to kind of dive into that a little more, though. So, as the pastor, how are you leading the people in your congregation to join you in believing that that's going to happen?
I bet you haven't lost any people, is what I'm thinking, on the ride, huh?
No.
They've all stayed with you, right?
No. Yeah. We actually, it's funny you say that, Will. We actually did a reunion of the OGs.
Oh, I love that.
That were there day one. And we just did it. I don't know why we didn't do it sooner. But I was looking around, and there was like 125 people there. And I'm starting to do the math. Of the 150, some of them moved to, some of our mutual friends, and they moved to L.A. or whatever. But they have those at the very beginning. Now, there have been those who've come along the way that they might have been there for Bible teaching, and they've realized, this is really about mission. And, some people didn't have a heart for that, whatever, but, we needed their seat, so it was fine. But the way that we have led with it is, I think it was William Wallace in Braveheart, the
I love that
famous
movie.
line where he says, remember the line where he says, people don't follow titles, they follow courage.
Oh, man.
And I think that's all we've done is we've just modeled it.
Yep.
And, look, when I thought courage, it doesn't mean you're not afraid, right? It just means just do it anyway. And I'd never fancied myself as a courageous, honestly, person. Like, just not, I think of like Peter Goodwin when I think of courage.
Yeah.
But, it just turns out courage just simply means you're just doing what Jesus has asked you to do. In the face of overwhelming obstacles, opposition, you just keep facing forward into it. And the belief is that, what the belief is? The hall of faith. This is what the Lord really put on my heart when we started Hebrews 11.
Yep. I love that chapter.
Those first verses, he conquered cities. This one took over nations. And there's not even a break in the sentence. And this one was killed by lions, and this one was killed by the sword, both in the hall of faith. So the belief for me was, I don't know which one of those we are. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be eaten by the lion. I don't know if we're going to conquer the city. I just know both are okay because Jesus was in all of them. And so that was even in those days of 2013, 14, when we were running out of money and no building of, this might be what we're doing. And it's okay. And
wow.
And then God just, surprised us at every length.
Joshua 1:9, be strong and courageous, man. That's epic. Yeah. What do you tell your children? Just 20 seconds of courage. It's all it takes.
Yeah.
Go talk to that girl, or to join that football team, or to, put your name in the hat of something that you're afraid of, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So you have Conduit Mission. You also have Conduit Church, but for Conduit Mission, I would love to just know what it is and what's the work you're doing there.
Oh, man. That's a deep question, Patrick. The basic answer is we just keep saying yes.
I love that.
The world will run out of money before the world runs out of need. So there are moments where we have to count the cost, but we've got projects led by indigenous people in East Africa. We're planting churches, and we plant churches there. It's like it's literally a community transformation. We drill a well, we build a clinic, a school.
Oh my gosh,
a church.
I love it.
All led by and we're at 10 of those right now in East Africa.
Praise God! Wow.
Latest one on it's really amazing. I mean, I look back on that. It's just you string enough of little wins together, you know, you
Yeah.
have a long. In Nepal, we've been working with the Persecuted church there.
Oh man.
Many people don't know that Nepal is actually becoming one of the more hostile environments for Christians. And so, fortunately, unlike some other like a lot of the like Muslim countries, Americans are welcome in there. They're just not welcome to come preach in there. So we do, but we do it anyway. But there we've got a school, churches there, and then in Asia, most people don't know this, that there are more slaves alive right now than in the history of like the European slave trade. Like there's literally 4.5 million in just Pakistan, just that country. That doesn't include the Kashmir region, Nepal. And we've figured out that in some of those locations, there's a way to actually purchase their debt. It's indentured servitude. And it's inherited from father to son, father to son. So if I die, my son is now a slave. And they have no hope of ever getting out. 1 million of the 4.5 million are Christians in Pakistan in those slave kilns. And so we've, in the last 5 years, have set free 15,000 slaves.
15,000?
That's amazing.
I know. I was surprised too, Will.
Whoa.
But we just, we've got a whole system over there. We got 50 people on staff inside the country.
Oh my
we're actually
gosh,
working
that's huge.
within their legal system now, because the country itself, they know that this is a problem visually.
Yeah.
And so they're
terrible.
caught between, they're caught between the perceptions of an honor shame culture and the perceptions of, of Islam over there. And so, but they've been working with us. So we literally, it's like, it's amazing. Our team just got back from there and 200 more went free. Just
my gosh.
Last week.
Darren, that is, hallelujah. That is awesome.
I can't believe that God lets us do this,
that's
right?
awesome.
He lets us do that. It's like, how cool is he gives us a chance to. We don't have to just tweet about injustice. We can actually do something, right?
No, but I love the supernatural creativity it took to basically back up a cultural and a historical issue, and to go, hey, if we just look at it this way and do it this way, we could figure out a solution. And your solution is setting people free. My gosh. I mean, just with some, I'm guessing, dollars. I mean, you're just paying the debt and then they go free.
Yeah. We had to be super careful because there's like South Sudan, people started doing it there. And you can, when helping hurts, right? You can inadvertently.
Absolutely.
Right. Create like an eBay. So literally the market was capitalism begins to take over. Well, we're about to raise the prices.
Exactly.
But specifically, in this one country specifically, it's all papered. Like it's literally like a payday loan. Like it's all their penalties, their fees. And so they literally cannot raise the price on us. And then we have a system where they like savings groups where they like 50 to 80 of the former slaves are saving money in a little like a credit union.
Yeah.
So almost 100% of the people that we have set free are there because of a medical crisis in their family.
Oh, man.
The wife is pregnant. She's going to die. You'd do anything. So you take the $200 from the brick kiln to save your wife's life, and now you're a slave for forever. So we've set up the credit union to help them with a $50 medical bill of crisis that they might have. And then the honor shame culture actually kicks in when there's 50 to 80 people in the savings group. They won't put them in, they're not going into slavery, but the honor part of it, they will pay it back. And we've had 100% success rate with that so far.
Oh, man. That's beautiful, Darren. Tell us more. What's going on in other countries for you?
Man, well, I know this might be controversial, so you can edit it out, but we've been working in the Gaza envelope.
I love it. That's not controversial.
2 years.
We need to be loving on people all over the world.
Right. Well, we are, and that's what we started doing. The people that were attacked and on October 7th, which the 2-year anniversary is this week.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've been there multiple times. I have friends there, our friends that were shot and killed there.
Oh my gosh.
And so, what we would say to that is that, put all the geopolitical out of the way and just say, look, this is a people that were literally oppressed and murdered, and terrible things happened. I won't say them online, but so of course we'd want to help them. Yeah. Right. And so we've been doing working with them 2 years now, and the village kibbutz that we're working in is called En Absor.
Okay.
And I've learned after the fact that the word Absor in Hebrew means gospel.
Oh my gosh, that's
And
unbelievable.
I was blown away.
I love it.
My Jewish friend Uri, who was at our church, first time he'd ever been in a Christian church ever, he said, you kept using this word gospel, and I wanted to wait till you got here to tell you this. But this is the word, it means gospel. I don't know why that word is so important. Can you tell me why that word matters to you so much? It was like, I'm getting literally to preach.
Great.
Yeah, tell this guy the story of the gospel. Like, it's incredible. What Jesus is doing
so
amazing
good.
things, right?
Oh.
And then in North Africa, I can't say the country, but we've been working with a couple there for 10 years now with planting underground churches.
Wow.
And 250 of them that they can be no more than 8 to 10. They meet in apartments. They have to move every 3 to 5 months so that they don't get outed.
Oh my gosh.
But
What a life.
it's wild, bro. Like to see Muslims who have we used to call looking for a person of peace, right? That Jesus talked about. If they welcome you into their home, if they
Yep,
don't,
that's
kick
right.
the dust off, go to the next one.
Oh, perfect. I love that.
Right. That's what we used to say, but now we're saying we're looking for the ones that have had the dream. And
Oh,
I don't know if you've heard this, but Muslims all over the world are having what they call the dream of a man in white that appears to them.
wow.
And it's like literally Apostle Paul stuff. Wow. And so former jihadists, former ISIS, I want to be clear. I'm not talking like in large numbers, but any number is incredible.
No, any number is great. Yeah.
Right. So we've got some former imams from Ethiopia that will come and train our guys in North Africa, including a couple of former ISIS guys.
Oh my gosh.
Like, people forget the Apostle Paul was one of the premier Christian killers, right, of his time.
Yeah.
And
That's right. Saul,
right?
man, he was wicked.
Yeah. And, no wonder they didn't trust him right in those early days.
Yeah, that's right. They were freaked out and afraid. That's right.
So, yeah, I mean, I could go on, but Jesus is just doing amazing stuff. And, of course, in Haiti,
Yeah.
it's just, we're all heartbroken. We all, at least I haven't, if you figured it out, you should email me, but I still don't know the solution on the national level. But all I know is that these are our friends, and you don't leave your friends just because it's rough. It's not your fault
right.
if you're 5 years old and you're in a country that is where they are. So we've had to get really creative on getting food and supplies in, and even just getting there has to get creative. It's not.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's. We always say, if not now, then when? And if I mean, it's. I think I saw a quote that you said we go to the hardest places because all the easy places have already been taken. Yeah. I love that quote.
Yeah,
it's amazing. So I mean, we're in the hard. We say we're planting seeds in tough soil, and God will water. He will nurture. He will grow in His time. And we're dug in like you're dug in. And it takes a lot of prayer and a lot of supernatural creativity, a lot of ideas that come straight from the Lord Himself, and. But we're feeling a momentum. We're feeling a lot of favor, and we're seeing some things happening, and so I am encouraged, and I know God's going to surprise us. He's going to do it. He's going to surprise us and have some breakthrough in that country. I'm believing it. But yeah, we're touching more and more vulnerable children and families, and I know you're still in the fight there too. So we'll have to talk offline how we can partner and help each other and do it. Do it better and have more reach. We just want to. That's our hearts. I know yours and ours. So, but
yes.
Thank you for all you're doing all over the world, Darren. Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. Can you believe it, Patrick?
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's so amazing. And we like to talk about this imagery of a mountain.
Oh, that's
there's
right.
There's a Haitian proverb that says there's mountains behind mountains.
Yes.
And it's this idea of, we're climbing and you get to the top and there's another one to climb.
Yep.
And so that's kind of been our focus for the year. And each month we're choosing a new word. And for you, we have the word believe. I think we'll mention that earlier.
Yeah.
And you're already talking about how, these are hard places to work. It's tough soil. In those moments when the climb is steepening, what's fixing your eyes on the summit? What's helping you believe that you can get to the top and continue going? It's
actually a funny question because a year ago day, I was at base camp in Mount Everest.
Oh
in
my
Nepal.
gosh,
way.
that's awesome. 18,000 feet up. Whoa.
Yeah, yeah. It turns out oxygen matters. Like, it's highly underrated.
Wow.
Yeah, when people say, "Thank you, Lord, for the air I breathe today," I always kind of chuckle at that. That seems so simplistic, but it's so true.
Oh yeah, buddy. This is the air I breathe. That song. I wanted to bring it back, but there were moments. It was so instructive for me. My son turned 19 years old. At base camp. It was a really amazing.
Unbelievable.
So cool.
Yeah. I did tell him, like, hey, buddy, you got to know, like, this is it. Like, every birthday's downhill from here. Like,
It sure is. It
You're
sure
like,
is.
I can't outdo this one.
We'll never rival this one. That's right.
But it was so instructive for me because I didn't believe in my ability to get there. I had to believe in the Sherpa's ability to get me there.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
And his instructions, to listen to them. Because the way it works is there's certain spots along the way where you stay for an extra day to try to gain,
Yeah, sure. Acclimation.
acclimatized.
Yeah.
And when the night we were at base camp, the morning we woke up, there was a helicopter carrying out this is terrible, but a dead body. And it was somebody that rented a horse for the last 2 days, so he didn't have any acclimatization, and it literally, he lost his life because of it.
So many people have done that up there.
Yeah. And so the shortcuts
Yep, that's right. They don't work.
are available, but it's literally one. What I remember we would do a lot of is occasionally you'd look up to see how far you have to go. You look behind to see how far you've come. But the vast majority of it is just my belief in one more step. One more
Amen.
step. And you put enough steps together and you get to the next spot and you can take a breather. And then you get back into we had a weird blizzard. There was, when the Sherpas are taking pictures, you're screwed. Like they're like, wow, we've never seen this before. It was a freak blizzard.
Gosh, this is crazy. What are we doing?
Oh yeah, avalanches everywhere. And I thought, man, if I don't bring my son back, my wife will kill me.
Absolutely.
But we just one foot in front of the other, and you string enough feet, steps.
That
you
is
get
the
to
perfect analogy, Darren. I love it. It's so true. Yeah. What's the
because
song?
all you do is look at how far you have to go. It is overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I would occasionally I'd kind of get spun up, like we're not even almost there. Like we're not even kind of almost there.
Yeah.
But then I'd, disabuse myself of that and go to the focus of what's the goal for the day. We're going to
So
do that.
good.
And then we're going to do the goal the next day and string enough days. And
Daily manna, daily provision.
I mean, it's so biblical. That's why it's so instructive for me. I'm literally living out a parable, like while I'm climbing. But
I love it. Oh man, that is awesome.
I mean, I feel like as a pastor, you're kind of acting as that Sherpa, the one that's navigating the climb for your congregation. How do you navigate that? How do you encourage everyone that's in your church?
Example. I mean, that was what I learned from the Sherpa. I actually learned this from flying too. I had a really irrational fear of flying for a long, which is hilarious. Again, God's sense of humor. I'll put you in the job where you're flying all the time.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right. But I would keep my eyes on the flight attendants. If they're not freaking out, then I'm okay. And with the Sherpas, right, if they're not freaking out, now they're getting a little nervous when the blizzards hit, so I'm starting to get nervous. But the way that we lead the church is by example. I don't. We don't ask people to go. I ask them to go with me. Like we send people, but what we're really saying is, I'm the lead missionary, right? I'm going.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to go. A guy told me a few years back, and it was like, he didn't mean it as a compliment, I might add. I said, I feel like the only way I could ever have coffee with you is if I go to Haiti. This is not long after the earthquake, And I was like, oh, well, that's true. And I'm leaving Friday. If you want to go with me, like 100% you can go with me. He did not. But that's kind of what we've done. And it literally, it has, I don't want to say call the herd because not everybody's called to this. And I totally recognize that. But in our church, if you're not, you're going to be miserable. And we say that you can be a goer, you can be a sender, you can be both, you can be either, but you can't be neither. Like there's no bench warmers in the kingdom.
So true.
And So we got goers and we got senders, and some of them are both, right? We have some of the most generous people we have are actually, percentage-wise of their income are former missionaries or current missionaries, which is amazing to me. But so Patrick, that's how I lead is by example.
That's amazing.
It's a servant leader, man. It's locking arms. It's getting in the trenches. One of our dear friends at Hands and Feet that supported for years, he was at one of our concerts when we very first started Hands and Feet with our platform. Mark was talking about it from stage. His name's Steve Fair, and he was like, Mark, I want you to take me to Haiti, and I want to do the worst job.
Oh wow!
And the worst job, one of them is building the septic system.
I was just going to say I've done that job.
So he jumps down in the hole and he's digging. Him and his team wanted to do the septic system, so they built, probably 6 or 7 septic systems for us in Haiti. And
wow!
And Mark would jump in the hole with him and right alongside him. And Steve was like, that's how I know. And he's still a generous and amazing supporter of Hands and Feet today. He said it's because Mark jumped in the hole with me and dug the septic with me. And that's what you are. You're the same.
Well,
you're a leader.
It doesn't surprise me about Mark at all, or you for that matter. And watching you guys, lead by example. And again, it's not like you didn't have to do this, right? There were nonprofit organizations that would have thrown enormous sums of money at you and they're all great organizations doing great work.
Absolutely.
But the courage you guys had to lead by example,
sacrificially start something on our own. Yep.
Yeah. And I don't
that.
know if it was for you, but for me, I learned later in my life, I had a pastor friend of mine who's actually a counselor. He told me that you are the angriest person I've ever met. And right? And it hurt my feelings because I'm like, I'm a nice guy. Like I thought I was the nicest guy I've ever. Ask my wife. But he framed it in a way that healthy anger is called passion.
Oh, that's great.
It's beautiful,
right? And passion gets crap done.
It sure does.
So, yeah, you ask Patrick how we lead. One of the things I do lead with is asking people, like, what is it that makes you angry when you look around the world?
Yeah. What do you get ticked off about? Yeah. What burdens you? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because somewhere in there is a clue. Your wound is your why. So what is it? You've been hurt. You're angry about it. And
hold on, I got to stop you. Say that again. What did you just say?
Your wound is your why.
Oh man.
Amazing.
Dude.
Well, you find it like, for me, like, and this is the counselor helping me out. You were as a kid, we grew up extraordinarily poor. Nobody was coming for me. And, he was like, you're on your own. And he actually framed it in a way that actually helped me because he said, you're going to Haiti to try to save these children, but Jesus is sending there to save you. And,
oh, wow.
But every one of us have a story around that. Like if you've got a child with special needs, for instance, like, so there's an anger in that is a passion, and I'm not supposed to ask you to change the heart that God has given you.
That's right.
We're just saying, if you have a heart for clean water wells, right, whatever, then here's an opportunity for that. And if you have a heart for setting slaves free, here's an opportunity for that. If you have a heart for education, here's an opportunity for that. And if we don't have the opportunity, then we just point them to an organization that does. Because it's not up to me to ask God to change the heart that he put in them. And most times that heart came through a wound or through that's made you angry.
Yep. That
becomes your passion. And so for me, it was, nobody was coming for me. Nobody was speaking up for me. And I meet these kids in Jacmel, Haiti, that nobody was speaking for them. Nobody was coming for them. And so it just ticked me off. Yeah. And so, that's something that is still to this day drives what we do. The passion is to channel the anger into righteous anger, which is just simply passion, right? Jesus, the passion, we call it the passion of the Christ, right? He wasn't angry. Jesus wasn't angry at me. He was angry for me to save me.
I love that. Wow. Okay. That was huge right there. Thank you for sharing all that. And that was said so wonderful. I love it.
How has believing in God's promises through those seasons really reshaped your understanding of what is truly possible?
That's such a great question. When the disciples, Matthew 16, when they got into the boat with Jesus after he fed the 5,000, they got about halfway across the boat and they'd forgotten to bring the bread, right? The baskets that were left over, they forgot them on the shore. And they're kind of like, oh man, he's going to be so mad because we're wasting bread, or whatever they thought. But he was like, you don't understand. Beware the yeast of the Pharisees. But the yeast of the Pharisees was hypocrisy, was forgetting what God had done for you is basically what he was saying.
Yeah.
And so I kind of count these things as like bread baskets for me. Like there's bread in the basket. So the story of the building, there's so many stories of God's provision.
Yeah.
For me that, we got out onto the water and we're either going to sink or swim, and both were going to be okay. But those times when we kept walking, kept swimming, whatever, like it was his provision. That what shaped the belief for me is seeing him come through, not in a prosperity gospel way at all. I'm not even kind of suggesting that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I've just seen it enough that when we encounter something new now, that I've got the bread baskets with me. Okay, I know you came through here. I know you came through here. So Haiti's a great example right now. I've seen him come through there, but I don't know how he's going to come through.
Yep.
I just know he is.
Amen.
Right. So we're just going to keep taking more steps. And so it just, the shaping of the belief is that it sort of like galvanizes you with courage that your Sherpa knows where he's going.
Yeah.
The Sherpa didn't mean to lead us. He led us into a blizzard, and there we were. Right. But we got through it because we kept with the Sherpa.
Yep.
And when I think of the beliefs that there's no verse in the New Testament ever that says to invite Jesus into your heart, but there's a whole lot that says to believe, right? Believe and repent, believe and repent.
Yep.
This is the work, right, of the John 6. This is the work, is to believe on the one who is sent. And we don't have to just pretend. Like I'm believing that this God loves me enough, right, that he would literally die for me joyfully, by the way. And if he'd do that, that means he's good. So even if I don't understand, I call it cross-examining. I just go back to the cross. Okay, I remember that. And any
great.
God that would do that, right? I may not know why, but I definitely know why not. It's not because he's not good, because any good God that would do that is good.
Yep.
And I just carry that with me every step. We're getting ready to leave for Asia. It's going to be soul-crushing long flights and
oh man,
and, avoiding all the things that there but I just believe that God has got something there for us, and he's good, and that's why he's called us there, not because he wants me to be in a soul-crushing plane.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that amazing?
God has something.
Anytime you're going to those tough places, you can still get an excitement, though. You can still be amped. Like every time I go to Haiti, I'm amped because I know God's going to show up and do something. I'm going to see smiling kids' faces who have been reached and touched by him. I'm going to see, all these things that he's doing, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be, it's going to be inconvenient. It's going to be hot. There's not going to be the food that I might want or all the things, but. Yeah. You can still get amped because you're going to go and see really cool stuff that God's doing, right? For someone who's listening to this, what's one piece of wisdom, though, you would give them when the climb feels hard, when it feels impossible, when you're just like, man, this is heavy, or it's hard, or I can't do this anymore? How do you keep going? I know you said one step in front of the other and one day at a time, and God provides the stuff. But I mean, for someone who's listening right now, what little nugget would you give them?
Jesus promised us. You don't see this on a lot of 3x5 cards on the bathroom mirror as far as Bible verses, right? But he's like, in this life, you're going to have struggles.
You're going to have tribulations. That's right.
Yeah. Once you disabuse yourself of the notion that is an interruption of your work.
Oh man,
it's not
that's
an interruption
huge.
of your work, right? It's not an interruption of your work. It is the work.
Wow.
And most times when we're struggling in that way, it's because I had this expectation. It was an unmet expectation of what I thought God was going to do in the time that I thought he was going to do it in. And
so true.
Instead to just take a step back. It's like none of us saw the disintegration of the Haitian government. I mean, I was as discouraged
totally
as anybody. Like I thought the earthquake was the worst thing we were going to encounter.
Absolutely.
But here we are. Okay, we're in this world. You're going to have troubles and tribulations. He literally told us this, and so while we're going through that, the belief is that they're not going to be wasted. I'm not smart enough to know whether God causes or whether he allows. I just know he doesn't waste.
Amen.
So whatever that struggle is, just if the belief is not in your ability, it's in your Sherpa's ability. And the belief is that, that he's going to get you there. And so whatever the surprises are, for me,
Yep.
we're literally trapped in a tea house in the Himalayan mountains with like 4 feet of snow that was like up to my waist.
Wow.
And we didn't know whether we were going to go forward or backward. But I just kept believing that this Sherpa is not going to take me someplace that he knows that is going to kill me. Like he's going to lead me, not easy, because the thing wasn't easy I signed up for.
That's right.
And if you signed up for a Christian because it was easy, you got the wrong brochure.
That's right.
You literally, the minute you say yes to Jesus, you're now a target for the enemy. So, but those struggles are not there to harm you. They're not there to punish you, but they will strengthen you. And
That's right.
The belief, right? So the belief is just that: is this Sherpa going to get me? Do I really believe that Jesus is going to do this?
Yeah, we got one of our guys on our team, Sean, and he always says his tagline at the end of his signature is "Struggle well."
Oh, yeah.
And we've been as a team going through spiritual formation, and it's a common conversation, or it's an often conversation about this idea of thriving or this idea of struggle. And in the midst of that's when God, it's like the idea of pruning a plant back. When you see an actual arborist take a plant back, it looks like they are murdering that plant in the tree or whatever. You're kind of like, how's that thing ever coming back from that mayhem that they just put on that tree? And it's the same thing in life. And we face these things. People on our team are facing things. They're up against some big things right now. And just trying to reframe that God is going to finish the work that he started. He's going to grow you. He's going to shape you. He's going to, the potter and the clay, he's producing this beautiful artwork, this beautiful piece. And it may not ever happen. It won't be finished, this side of glory. It'll be finished when we see him face to face in his loving arms. But yeah, that's got to be something that we understand when we sign up for this, right?
Yeah, Paul, we quote, one thing you will find on mirrors on 3x5 cards is Romans 8:28, right? In all things, God is working together for the good of those who love and are called according to his purpose. And for most of my young life, I thought that meant when a bad thing happens, I get a good thing, right? Right, I lost this job, I got a better job, right? I lost this car, I got a better car. Except for that's demonstrably untrue. And so what did he mean? And we don't have to guess because he tells us what he means in the next verses, which is what the good thing is, you are being shaped into the image of his son. Right. So there it is. Right. And all things I'm working together for the good is tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up a little bit more like Jesus. Right. I think Bob Goff says tomorrow I want to wake up and be the next most humble version of Bob. And the next day, the next most humble version of Bob. Right. I love Bob. Right. It's his ability to just make it so simple. But yeah, those struggles are making us into the image of his son. And all of our goals is to be more like Christ. Not a better version of me, but a better reflection of him. I love that. And that's the way it happens. There are days I definitely wish it wasn't the process. But, you look around, you see these, endurance athletes are accomplishing these amazing things, and they struggled the whole time to get there. There's a reason,
They had to put in the work. They had to do all the hard stuff. That's right. Well, this is how we kind of finish up, and you may have some questions for us too, but this is how we kind of finish up everything. We really want to know how our listeners can pray for you, Darren, and all that you're doing at Conduit, all you're doing all over the world. Just give us some ways that our listeners can pray for you guys.
It's probably the exact same way that you would ask them to pray for you, which is the most complex situation we're dealing with is in Haiti, which is strange to me because I wouldn't have. 20 years ago it was a hard place, right? But there are harder places.
Yeah.
But it's by far the hardest place that we're working right now.
It's very complex. You're right.
Very complex. So we're just really praying for wisdom. Yep. However the situation handles at the national level is way above my pay grade, but we're looking for wisdom. How do we continue to sustain and support without hurting, right? The same things you guys talk about. Our brothers and sisters there as a church, someone actually we both know told me that God had he said something about he basically took away his heart for Haiti. Basically gave him permission to leave. Like, how do you get that? Like, you got permission? Like,
Whoa.
I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah.
And you and I both know, right, that many really good people have left, and I don't have any judgment on them at all.
No.
But we can't quit, and so
that's right.
The thing that's when you ask that question, that's the front of my mind is, and I don't mean that as a cop-out question or answer. I just
that's a perfect answer.
It's like an entire.
We'll be praying
that's a
absolutely with you in that, for sure.
Yeah. It's been so great talking to you. I feel like I've gotten so much wisdom out of this conversation, and I appreciate you taking the time to be on Project Red.
Patrick, thanks, man. A pleasure to meet you here. And Will,
so great to meet you.
I'm still your biggest fan, man. I found I told Mark I found a Swatch watch when I was moving last time that had audio. A Merry Christmas from Audio Adrenaline. I think it was like 1998. And of course, Mark would have had. That's because it's Kim probably did it. You guys had no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
But I intentionally kept that because I did enjoy that season working with you guys. With
beautiful seasons. Yeah.
Huge fan of what you're doing now. So thanks for sharing your platform with me.
Darren, you're awesome. I appreciate you, brother. You're amazing.
Thank you so much.
Right back at you. Hugs and kisses.
Okay, bless you. Thanks for being here with us at Project Red. We just had Darren Tyler, amazing dude. And the thing that stuck out to me, Patrick, was when he said your wound is your why.
So
and that was so good. And that means that's God's heart that he's put in you to help people. And right now, as I think of what we're doing in Haiti and the state of Haiti, I mean, there's a lot of good that we're doing in Haiti. That became our why. And we're hoping that as you're watching this, you'll walk alongside us as we try to fulfill that why for us. And that is helping vulnerable children, propping up families that are struggling, the displaced people in Haiti right now. The struggle is real for so many in Haiti right now. And so, just continue to lock arms with us in that as we try to come alongside vulnerable children and vulnerable families through meeting pressure points, just inviting them to struggle one more day and stay in the fight one more day, to give them some things that'll help them do that. And tomorrow we'll get back up and we might have to do it again. We might have to struggle with them again, but we'll go day after day. We'll take, as Darren said, that first step and that second step, and we'll keep going, right?
Yeah, and if you're wanting to take those steps with us, feel free to go to our website, handsandfeetproject.org. That's where you can learn more about what we're doing, stay up to date with our blog. You can sign up for our emails. You can donate. You can sponsor a child, sponsor a family, anything you want to do. You can find it on our website. It's a really easy way to get involved with our organization. And another really great way is to give to our Project Essentials page. You can shop, you can find what our needs are, and just give directly through our Project Essentials on our website.
That's so good. I want to give a shout out to all the volunteers who came to Denver.
Yes.
Food pack, Feed My Starving Children, Hands and Feet Project. We did a food pack, and it was 241,000 meals packed. Unbelievable.
Amazing.
Yeah, so there was like 600 or 700 people, and they basically fed a child for a year, each of them. They packed enough food that each of them fed one child in Haiti for a year. And as you know, we're feeding people in the north 136,000 meals every month. Go out to schools, they go out to churches, they go out to orphanages, and they're supporting displaced people in the north. And so that's cool. And then one last thing, this is big, right, Patrick?
It's huge.
It's huge. We've got Tim Tebow.
Yes.
And for King and Country, for one night only, event we're having in Franklin, Tennessee at the factory. Tim Tebow for King and Country. You can check out all about that on our website, handsandfeetproject.org. You'll see Tim Tebow for King and Country. You can get tickets there to come hear Tim speak and King and Country perform. And this is all to just help raise awareness and to help raise some funds so that we can continue to have greater impact in the country of Haiti. So bless you guys. Thank you for joining in with this month's Project Red.